Welcome! Let's talk about grading the Toronto Maple Leafs in the offseason. But before we get started, please don't forget to give me a little love. And if you're new to the channel, do the thing. Who knows? You may even lose some brain cells here. Let's get started with key arrivals. Beginning in net with Anthony Stolarz. Giant of a man, goaltender, 6'6", 240 pounds. I really wanted the Leafs to get him last season when Florida picked him up. Even though his numbers weren't great in Anaheim, he was playing in Anaheim. And if you saw him play, he looked pretty good. Now, they gave him a 2-year, 2.5 AAV. He's 30 years old, has a birthday in January. I know he hasn't played more than 30-ish or so games a season, but that's about what I could see him playing, especially thinking that Wall will at least go through one major injury this coming season. 30 to 40 games, maybe? We'll see. Murray and Hildeby are right behind him. Key arrivals for defense, starting, of course, with the big fish, Chris Tanev, right shot defenseman, signs a 6-year, $4.5 million AAV. He's 34, be 35 in December. 6'2", 196 pounds. Yes, the term is crazy long for his age. He's got hopefully at least 2, preferably 3 good years left. But I mean, if they have to throw him to Robidas Island afterwards, LTIR, it's more than plausible. The guy stops puck with his face. I don't think there'll be any scandals when he disappears from the lineup. But this is yet another year where Riley will get yet a better upgrade beside him than what he's used to. Tanev almost had a 56% Corsi for last season with the Dallas Stars. He's not going to put up points, but he's a great defensive D, and he'll let Riley run. Next, you have OEL, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, left shot defenseman, signs a 4-year deal at $3.5 million. He's 33, he'll be 34 in July. 6'2", 201 pounds. Had 32 points in 80 games for Florida last season. 6 in 24 games in the playoffs. Has a cup. Don't like the term, feel like the AAV is a little high. I hope he doesn't play more than bottom pairing minutes, but he can definitely play higher in a pinch. He jumped in for Montour and Ekblad last season when they were hurt for the first 2-3 months. He also played on the right side. I just don't feel he should be playing more than 18 minutes a night. And hopefully it's not Liljegren beside him. It's more of like a Archambault type. Anyway, speaking of which, is Archambault a Leaf or not? Initially, I was kind of excited to hear about this. He's a right shot D. They signed him, or did they, to a 2-year, 1.5 AAV. He's 32, has a birthday in March. Yeah, he just gives the puck to the guy who can move the puck beside him in OEL. Done. Beats you up if you go to the front of the net. I would have preferred Lyubushkin here, but for this money, it's fantastic if the guy can play. Don't forget, he's 6'7", 225 pounds. Now, they picked up a few other depth guys. Dakota Mermis, left shot D, 30 years old. Philip Myers, 27, right shot. They'll play in the Marlies. Maybe you'll see him a few games here and there. Then there's Cade Weber, who they gave up a 6th or 7th draft pick to Carolina for, 23 years old. Left shot D, big boy. I'd like to see him get a few drinks of water with the Leafs. They could have something there. But being a left shot is going to make it harder for him to crack the lineup. Key arrivals on forward? Nobody. Moving on. Let's quickly go over key departures, starting with Samsonov. The goaltenders, again, he went to the Vegas Golden Knights on a 1-year, $1.8 million deal. He's 27 years old. Wish him all the best of luck there. Martin Jones, I kind of wanted him to be the Leafs' 3rd-string goalie instead of Matt Murray. He had some good moments. He kept them in it for like a month or so. Maybe if a goalie gets injured in training camp, he'll get a PTO. Why do you think I'm talking about the Leafs? Key departures on defense, starting with TJ Brody, of course, who's making like $5.5 million at the time, but on a 5-year deal. Initially, he was signed for left shot D. Went to Chicago on a 2-year, $3.75 million. He's 34, will be 35 in June. Good for him. I wasn't sure he was even going to get $3 million the way he played last season. I know his father passed away and he had a tough time, but he really dropped off a cliff to the point Toronto had a hard time justifying putting him into the lineup. Ilya Lyubushkin, a right shot defenseman I really wanted to keep. He was just priced out of their range by Dallas. Gave him a 3-year, $3.25 million. Good for him. At 30 years old. Has a birthday in April, by the way. Joel Edmondson, another guy I wish the Leafs would have kept. Played bottom pairing left shot for them. Great penalty killer. Gets injured a lot, though. LA gave him 4 years at 3.850, 31. He has a birthday in June. And of course, the biggest fish here, we're talking about forwards and Tyler Bertuzzi. The money just wasn't there. He went to Chicago on a 4-year deal with 5.5 AAV. He's 29 years old, has a birthday in February. The only thing that surprises me is that he might have taken a little bit of a haircut to go to more of a contender, because I don't feel Chicago's going to do that while he's there. But who knows? But probably not. Next, let's talk about some key re-signings. Starting again in net, Joseph Woll. 3 years, 3.6 AAV. He's 26, has a birthday in July. This could be a big steal if he could stay off the LTIR. Who knows, if they started him against the Bruins in the playoffs, maybe they take that one. Ullmark, who's now with the Senators, said as much. And he's only really played around 30 games in a season. Now he's got to play like 50? Ooh. Matt Murray, they give him a 1-year, 8.75 AAV. He's 30 years old, has a birthday in May. If Stalaros or Woll goes down, it looks like it's Matt Murray who's coming up. It's a complete and utter definition of a wild card. Not sure, maybe I wanted Martin Jones more in that spot than him. Key re-signings on defense. You got Timothy Liljegren, right shot defender. He was going to be an RFA with arbitration rights. So the Leafs were kind of stuck in a hard place there. They gave him a 2-year, $3 million AAV at 25 years old, has a birthday in April. He's supposed to be a decent puck mover who can put up some points. And in the playoffs especially, he just got killed in his own zone. And if you're not putting up points or transporting the puck, what is it you say you do here? Then there's Simon Benoit, who I'm kind of cheating with because he signed back on March 31st. But what a steal for the Leafs, I think. 3 years at 1.35 AAV. He's 25 years old. Very young. Has a birthday in September. Left shot, 6'3", 203 pounds. Hits a lot. Scraps from time to time. Exactly what you want on a bottom pairing guy who will probably play with Jake McCabe as a second pairing duo. They did well. I just hope he can keep it up. Re-signings on forward. Starting with Connor Dewar, the most recent. The center/winger signs a 1-year, 1.18. He was also ARB eligible. He's 25, has a birthday in June. I can see him playing 60% of the time. He's a good defensive shutdown guy. Plays great in the corners. Hands of stone though, but he's trustworthy. Then we have Max Domi, also a center/winger. Signed him to a 4-year, 3.75 million AAV. He's 29, has a birthday in March. Domi's 5'10", 207 pounds. Thick boy. Now, he had 47 points last season with the Leafs, 9 of them goals, and in 7 playoff games, he had 4 points. He looked fantastic next to Matthews, which is where I hope they keep him, but in a pinch, they can make him a 3C. Not his strong suit, I don't think. He brings the passion, he brings the attitude, he brings the snot. I was happy for the signing, reasonable price. Let's see what Berube does with him. Lastly, Bobby McMahon. I'm cheating on this one too because he signed on March 13th. But 2 years at 1.35 AAV, 28 years old, birthday in June. This could be a big steal for traveling. 6'2", 207 pounds. Reliable defensively, takes the puck hard to the net. Had 24 points, 15 goals in 56 games last season. Could put up anywhere from 20 to 27-ish next season. Can he do it again? He's a middle six left winger with size. Feels like he can play with anyone. Fingers crossed. Lastly, I just wanted to throw some notes about trades, the needs and questions about the lineup here, starting with they really need a right shot defensive defenseman with some snot, if that's not Yanni Hakanpää, at the very least. I prefer a top 4 guy, but wants needs. They could really use a 2C or at least a 3C. Hopefully they try Nylander out at that position for a while, 15, 20 games at least. Kampf should only be playing 4C in my mind, and Holmberg I think is better suited as a winger, and Minton, I don't think he's ready yet, but he's probably a 3C of the future. They also need a top 6 left winger, because I don't think that's going to be Robertson. Hopefully they up his value, let him play. We'll see if he gets included in some kind of trade. Speaking of which, Mitch Marner, you've heard way too much about this. You don't need to hear it from me, but if he gets sent somewhere in a package with, Robertson and or Liljegren. And even if we get some picks back, maybe those could be swapped for better players. And you have cap space. Ryan Reeves is 37. He'll be 38 in January. I hope he's not playing more than 40 games. He had a good rebound last season in the last quarter or so. Was half decent in the playoffs. And lastly, Tavares. What's his next contract going to look like? Where's Berube going to play him? Is he going to go to the wing? Is he going to be the 3C? Anyways, I'll make a preseason video in a couple weeks or so talking more about that. How am I going to grade this team's offseason? I think a B-. You could argue me down to a C+. Let me know what you think, what your grade is down below in the comment section. Please don't forget to give me some love. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And if you've been around for a while and you want to support me, you can do that through my crowdfunding page called Buy Me a Coffee. You'll see a link down below or just on my YouTube profile page. Thanks again, and please remember to be excellent to each other.